Hello there, and welcome back to
Ooh,
Champions. I thought I'd catch you guys off guard there.
Yeah.
Wow. You're expecting energy, but you weren't expecting a deep hello. Hello.
More seductive.
Well, we obviously are in our final game of our first series of the day, which is going to be Enclave taking on Wind and Rain. One apiece, and you know, a bit of an upset really. We weren't expecting Wind and Rain to really put it to Enclave, you know, who were the first seed in the tournament. And Wind and Enclave obviously want to get this win because they want to get themselves that spot at the European Masters.
Yeah, and you could see Rift in particular, a lot of emphasis on want to get that spot, the 8-1 Darius performance dominating. And again, Wind and Rain came out game one, they had a good strategy, they had a good draft, they knew how to play around it, and they ended up getting a win. And then game two, they just seemed to try and do the exact same thing again in different situations. I think they need to change things up in game three. They will be on red side. Red side has a 100% win rate so far this series. Does mean they are in a more favorable position to get counter picks, and that was a big thing. In game one, we saw Lissandra into Akali, good counter pick. We saw the Camille into the Rumble, which although didn't do well in the early laner phase, does outscale. Yeah. And then on the other side, when Enclave got red side, they got the great counter picks, and I feel like Wind and Rain could bounce back in this game three if they draft effectively from the red side.
My big thing going into this draft then as well is, do they leave up the Akali? Do they want to pick Lissandra into that?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think it was bad. I don't think it's a bad shout at this point.
Yeah, but it was picked as the counter to the Akali. I think picking the Lissandra once the Akali was off the board.
Oh, I'm saying this time around, considering they're on the red side.
Oh,
last time it was banned away.
You're right. You're right. I don't know. I guess pick bans will tell us that, really.
Yeah, I guess we'll be able to find that out. I mean that's the big thing is that you'll give.
I'm estimating, I'm guessing here. I reckon 1 minute. Start your timers right now.
I'll be if you give, because obviously on the red side, if you leave open that Akali, it puts pressure on Enclave. Do you pick it? Because if you don't, you're leaving it open, which is a bit of an unfortunate situation. But you know they have this counter pick prepared. You know it worked in game one.
That was way shorter than a minute, by the way.
That was a Jake minute.
Yeah.
They are slightly short of another people's minute.
You see the bans start the same though.
Zillion pretty much the same. I'm actually curious whether or not we just get the same ban. You know, I don't want to give Aaron the Yasuo. You know, it's one of his power picks, so just denying that from him. That's going to be a LeBlanc ban because you don't want Crossman on that. You don't want the Zillion coming through from Akasune. You don't want Bendy playing the Caitlyn. And you probably don't want the Vel'Koz.
Yeah.
No, it was...
yeah, you know, this will... Oh, okay.
Oh, they actually banned the Akali
themselves. They banned the Akali, and this is the power of having that counter pick prepared,
the Ryze
Aaron wasn't able to do. And so it meant they were in a position to force them to ban it on blue side, and this means the Vel'Koz option is open. And what is Enclave going to first pick?
They could go for the Jhin if they consider it as high priority as Fax did.
I'm not sure. I would argue it is good. I know Fax is very favored on that champion. You could deny it, but I'm not sure that's going to be too favorable. Talia going to get picked up. Is a flex did get nerfed slightly on this patch. The question is, what will Wind and Rain offer as counters? We've seen in the LCK, Olaf, a great counter to Talia.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Nolte's still just going to pick Gragas.
Yep, probably. Probably Jhin Gragas we're going to see here. We can hope, but nope, Jhin Gragas.
I agree. I would love to see something like the Olaf, but...
Come on, Nolly. I
now,
dare you.
The nerfs to Talia were on the seismic shove, and her movement speed was reduced by 5. You're saying that's quite big because
the 5
wall surfing is off percentages. It grows
the
off
percentage increase, so you will start to notice that little bit more. At the same time, still a very strong champion. The Q damage wasn't nerfed. She does so much damage to a single target.
Yeah, considering how high priority this champ was before this patch, even with the nerfs, it's still pretty solid. It just means in unfavorable matchups, when you're trying to get someone off you who's right up in your face, you're going to struggle a bit more. If you miss that seismic shove, you have less movement speed, you're going to struggle a lot more. But still a strong pick. And we see, as expected, the Jhin Gragas come out from Wind and Rain. Hopefully they do change up the comp a bit more. But the big thing is that Nolte has this Gragas. We saw him have much more early pressure than the Sejuani. So it's quite good that they managed to get their hand on that, and they're going to be able to provide a bit more on the early levels.
That's a lot of engages. Hado not going to pick the Tahm Kench this time, decides to go in for the Alistar. So really wants that kind of big combo burst.
Is this a Vel'Koz?
The ulti. I mean, this isn't a bad matchup.
No. This is a Morgana. No. No. Okay, I mean, he's sticks to his guns. I got to respect Akasune for that, but this is not a lane I would like to play Vel'Koz into.
You said he doesn't really play the Morgana that much.
Yeah. He plays his champions
just pick
regardless.
Morgana and press Black Shield. It's like, it's not that difficult. I mean, that's the problem.
You know what's even easier? Carrying the lane yourself.
True.
Yeah.
That is the thing. that is the one good
Fact
matchup
falls
thing.
down, you carry it yourself.
If Alistair pops his ult, you can still melt him with the true damage through that. But I mean, that's the thing, is that under normal circumstances, picking Alistair this early when Morgana's available might be questionable. But because Akasuni just isn't willing to play it, it means you are free to take that. There's so much engage coming out from the Varus Alistair, and particularly when you have this clear, whether it's going mid or jungle, that's a lot of threat when Jhin Vel'Koz, they can only get over the wall with their flashes.
That was a lot of top lane bans we just saw come out there.
Yeah.
Top lane bans from that second ban phase.
We're not going to see Rift on Darius once again.
Oh, is Kerberos going to play Nami top? That's what we missed.
I mean, Kerberos has a couple of spicier picks prepared, so it'd be interesting to see if they decide to go for the counter pick mid or top.
I would say top. I would
say top as well, because you can just pick yourself a safe mid laner, something like a Corki, and you know you've got that more sustained damage now, but you don't really have a lot of engage or frontline outside of the Gragas.
Yeah, and with Camille off the board as well, you don't have as easy a time as you did in game 1.
Corki's an interesting one because he has made a bit of a resurgence because of the cheapening of all the crit items. Obviously, when they were nerfed, knocked him a bit out of the meta. I have seen him played a bit in solo queue.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that strong. Obviously, the package means you can't equalize against something like the clear if it is mid. There's off a bit of global pressure. And we do see the Poppy come out from Rift, so praise the Lord. I don't think, as good as Rift is, I don't think he's going to go 8-1 on the Poppy Kerberos. At least I hope not, for Wind and Rain's sake.
Full damage Poppy incoming.
Her AD ratios.
Yeah,
they're pretty good.
I've been hearing rumors about the full AD Poppies, like lethality Poppies coming out recently.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see it here. I feel this is definitely
Unlikely.
not the setting to be playing a lethality Poppy.
Game 3 in the Forge Champions semi-finals. It is time. Rift brings out the lethality Poppy.
Well, what will Kerberos be picking into the Poppy?
I mean,
is it going to be something normal? Or are we going to see Kerberos go back to his roots?
I mean,
pull
Kale
out
wasn't
something
banned.
spicy.
Kale wasn't
Kale wasn't banned. Neither was Nasus, if you really want to go down the Kerberos route, or Tryndamere.
Urgot.
And he will be picking up, come on, something spicy. The Malphite into Poppy. Okay.
I guess
Kerberos.
I guess the idea here is that you're playing...
You don't want to ever land an ultimate.
No, because the thing is, it's an unstoppable force.
Oh, it does get blocked.
It's an unstoppable force.
Get blocked.
Yeah. You can't stop an unstoppable force unless you have an immovable object.
I kind of thought that's what Poppy was.
No, she's not.
She's a movable object.
She's a slightly movable object. Slightly enough
but
that
moves other objects slightly. And if she's
got
got
a stiff object, it's kind of hard to shove around.
The key thing here is that you're playing into a lane that's very neutral, very passive. Poppy's going to do that much to punish a Malphite. You now have a champion with insane engage. If you get on top of this Varus, you get on top of this Azir, there's a lot less peel than there was in the last game. There's no Tom Kent available. There's no Gragas for the disengage. You can really punish these squishy champions in a team fight.
And Malphite's a funny one, actually, because it's... You know, Kerberos gets a lot of resources put into him.
Will he play Shamrock Malphite?
Will he play Shamrock?
Oh, that'd be
Kerberos,
great.
if you don't play Shamrock Malphite, I'm going to be so mad at you.
He's not going to play it.
He's going to play it. If you play
really hope he
Mecha
does.
Malphite, I'm
really
going to find out where you live. I'm going to come and tell you off.
Maybe that's why he picked it. His team were like, oh, we can pick so many... And he's like, nope, I'm picking Shamrock Malphite for my boys on the death.
It would be a great little message.
If it's Shamrock Malphite, I will buy you a skin, Kerberos. There we go.
Maybe, does he have
it's a little
Shamrock
late
Malphite?
now, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
you'll
depends what
find
he
out.
has, yeah.
But anyway, he might be putting his credit card details in now.
Guys, I was trying to buy the skin. Why did we start?
Can we restart? Going back to my initial point, not about skins. Malphite's quite a funny one because of the fact that if you camp Kerberos and put him behind, it doesn't really matter. As long as he hits 6, all he has to do is hit the R onto as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And you're just that big engage.
The big thing for me looking at this comp is you go Wind and Rain. Their strength was when they came together in a team fight, they seemed to do quite well. Malphite Gragas is like the staple engage, especially considering you're picking a damage support. That's a huge team fight presence you have now. And considering how they pulled off the previous team fights, even while behind in the last game, I'm very interested to see where they can pull this comp off.
I think the difficulty as well is this composition is going to be very much about backline access. Malphite and Gragas going to be very tanky in the late game, but still, Poppy and Alistair aren't anything to, cry about. The thing is, though, if you get onto these squishy backliners, you're going to be in a great position. The thing is, Malphite is going to have such an easy time doing this compared to, say, an Alistair or Poppy. They really need to look for flanks. If they're going to find it, Malphite can just go through the front door. He really doesn't care. I mean, the only risk is if they have their flashes up, they can flash away. But I think Wind and Rain have an easier to execute composition. The only thing I'm worried about is that Alistair into Vel'Koz lane, you can really get punished there. And the Talia has potential to snowball quite heavily.
Yeah.
And Kerberos is more the guy who likes to do the back doors, this time going in through the front doors. You can see me like...
Full AD Malphite, why
finding
not?
the cogs. Yeah, let's go.
Will you build a Triforce? That's the question.
The most disgusting thing I ever played against a few years ago was it was Jungle Malphite, and he built, what was the old like Blood Razor item? Was it just called Blood Razor back then? Well, the one where you had the little puppy dog which chased Devourer. Yeah, he had a Devourer and a Titanic Hydra, and then like a frozen mallet. And he would just ult on you, and you could not get away. He would just do so much damage, and his attack speed was disgusting.
This is such a crazy one. And I can't remember which team it was. I think it might have been Afrika, but I might be wrong. But they played in Korea, and they played full AP Malphite top, seriously. Yeah. And it's just because if you land that ult, they die. And the thing is, he didn't need to build tankiness against the Poppy. Well, he wasn't against the Poppy in that game, but he didn't need to build tankiness to survive his lane. So he just built raw full AP.
I think,
and when he hit the ult on the squishy, that was it.
You can even build AP and then go like an Abyssal Mask as well.
No, full AP. You go full AP.
Okay,
Damage wins.
I think this game we can actually go back to what Wind and Rain were doing in the first game, where they picked very easy to kind of win fight buttons. You know, you press the R from the Malphite, Gragas comes in with Body Slam, separates the team fight with Explosive Cast, and meanwhile, you just let Fax, you know, Fax is just shooting away, Akasune's just laser beaming everyone to death, and Corki also just right-clicking. I mean, you've got such an easy, such an easy team comp to pull off, and the side of Enclave, how much easier is it to disengage from this? I mean, you do have that Alistair who can at least stop the laser beam.
I think that's the problem, is that it's whoever finds the fight. There's a lot easier tools for Wind and Rain to do it. But if you find a flank from this Alistair, if the Poppy's able to make a TP flank, if you're able to make a great wall, cut them off, that's where Enclave can come out ahead. So it's not about, because obviously Wind and Rain can execute the team fights easier, but Enclave have to work harder to find good team fights. Then they have the potential to do better from them. I'm
curious to see what runes Kerberos has taken as well, because I wonder if we see him go to Precision Secondary and take Presence of Mind, just so he's literally an ult bot. Like, if he just thinks he's going to get cancelled, he takes Presence of Mind, and he's just all about ulting the team. It is an option to him.
I think you're better off just building CDR. I don't think it's necessary as such. I think you're better off, you know...
I don't know, we've got
get off
Presence
the
of Mind here. This dude loves that room.
It's so good in ARAMs. I mean, that's my tip for anyone.
Yeah, it is good in ARAMs.
If you have an ARAM player, Presence of Mind on any champion with mana, because you get so many kills, you get the mana back, it's just great. But this is Summoner's Rift, so maybe not as good. I think for me, I would expect him to go potentially the Comet.
Screw it, he's going to go Domination, he's going to get Ultimate Hunter, and then he's going to take Precision Second. Predator Malphite with Ultimate Hunter, and then Presence of Mind Secondary.
Look, as much as I love all this theory crafting, I'm going to guess it's either Comet or Grass.
I feel like you're probably making the sensible and therefore the right prediction.
The thing is, right, if Celtic's right and it's Comet or Grass, everyone's like, oh, okay, it's Comet or Grass. But if we're right,
that's
with
true.
Predator Speedy Malphite, then we'll be hailed as geniuses forever.
Forever.
And then if Kerberos feeds on it, we're all completely hailed as idiots, along with Kerberos.
Yeah, I mean, like, he could go like Aftershock Malphite, just play fully for team fights.
I mean, that is more viable for Predator. Let's not be
I think Predator's better.
You go Predator, and you're like, oh, I have to go bot lane, I don't have TP, just zoom down.
That's when he takes Meteor. Whoa.
Oh.
Hello.
Shaky cam.
The guy had the mouse there was like, ah! I'll mess with all of you. Show us the... I want to see the overlay. I want to see what's going on.
Grass. Yep.
Boring. Hey, hold on. Erin's gone lethal tempo. That's not boring.
That's a bit more sustainable. It makes a lot of sense. You know, we saw this is a composition where the backliners just want to pump out damage in the tanks. Unless you can get that backline access, lethal tempo means a lot more sustained damage on Erin. And I very much think we won't see the Luden's Echo come out early. Likely we will see the Nash's Tooth in this game. I mean, this is the problem, is that Alistair isn't really a champion at level 1.
Yeah.
Until he gets his combo, he's useless. So this is when Akasune can provide some pressure. It's once Alistair hits that level 2, level 3 point, you got to play a bit scared.
I mean, the biggest issue they had in the last game was they managed to win despite Hado. So this time, Hado really needs to step up for his team because he was struggling. He helped them get that last fight, but that was a team call as well.
One of the key things was he was on Tahm Kench, and Tahm Kench got nerfed, but also is a very dissuading pressure champion. He's on Alistair here. There's a lot more potential to make plays here, particularly when you have so many great targets, the Corki, the Jhin, and the Vel'Koz. Probably not the Malphite. You want to knock him into your team.
Not a great idea, but...
Crossman's having a pretty hard early game, sorry. Has obviously got that fleet footwork, so does have some in-lane sustain at least to
Also,
him.
that's not Shamrock Malphite, by the way.
No, it's actually his
Iron
pirate
side.
one. The one everyone forgets about. It's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
quite a cool one.
It is nice.
You get the little steering wheel that comes out when you...
Yeah. They're pretty fun.
Doesn't
Yeah,
he
I
like
like
shoot his cannons as he ults or something? I can't remember what he does. We'll check.
Yeah, this is
mean-
the research we need to do. We should have done this prep
We can
beforehand.
talk about what the teams will do, but let's more importantly consider what the skin might do as the game scales on.
Yeah, is this skin better late game than, say, Shamrock Malphite?
So not only did Kerberos get a favorable trade, he also denied, Rift, he also denied Kerberos the cannon minion. So that was actually like 1,000 IQ play there, although taking a tower shot underneath the turret isn't. He did manage to reposition his way, and actually Rift looking for an all-in underneath the turret, and Kerberos may have to just back here.
We spent all of the draft saying how, it's, he's picked Malphite, he's not playing for lane, you're not going to get pressured by a Poppy. Apparently you are.
Yeah,
Apparently you're going to get pressured at lane and forced to burn the TP early by a Poppy.
I'm also glad that you've seen Poppy move back towards Grasp, because previously you had seen a lot of airy Poppy.
Yeah, I think in the tanky matchups, Grasp better just for...
I mean, even in the left...
Bendy, that is not where you want to be. Deadly flourished, everything connected. Gets his lethal tempo, but can't even use it.
I was going to even say that the damage on airy got nerfed, so easier to
that
just
is
move
very
towards
true.
Grasp.
I think also, Grasp is just good because it gives you that sustain when you're trading against melee tanks, and also it gives you that extra HP towards the late game. I think Airy is very much an early game summoner. Yeah, Bendy now without his heal still has flash available.
I'm just getting soloed out by Akitsune.
Oh, but you see, Azir's actually moves down here. Aaron might be looking for an assistance.
Oh,
No,
that was a
never mind.
cannon.
There are a couple of members hanging around. Monk is only level 3 at the moment. Is pretty much equal on Nulty to CS though. So it
going
comes
for
to
it.
Headbutt Pulverize. That's going to be 2 men up. Monk is maybe looking for the seismic shove. Fax forced to flash back. That's going to be a flash out from Akasune. A deadly flourish pins him in place.
Ooh.
Bendy goes forward and finds first blood.
Yeah, so good from Bendy. The follow-up was there from the rest of the team. Haddo with a confidence play, and this is the difference between an Alistair and a Tom Kench. You can't do this on a Tom Kench.
Well, let's have a little look at that play once again and see how this whole setup came through.
Yeah, so Haddo just posturing. The thing is, you're really in a good range to flash. As soon as Monk is on the vision from that brush, he goes in. Fax has to flash. He doesn't want to go from anywhere. He has cleanse. But Akasune is a vulnerable target, and that squishy Vel'Koz, just enough damage with the hail of arrows. Good moves from the side of Enclave, and this is what you want to see. And this is the problem, is we talk about how picking the Vel'Koz was great when you're against Tom Kench. The Zyra great against Tom Kench, but against an Alistair, they can easily set up a gank, and there's a lot more potential to be punished, especially now that both of them without flashes, and Akasune with no summoners at all.
Now, it is only 1 kill over to Enclave. However, Wind and Rain now starting to fall a little bit behind. If we do look at the mid lane CS deficit, already 13 separates both of these mid laners. And, we're 5 minutes in. It's going to grow over time. Gold lead 900, so nothing majorly significant yet. But it's what they can do with the rest of their time here now.
Yeah, I
in
think
the
it's an
laning
interesting
phase.
decision because Crossman decided to go for the Cull. I think Crofton Potion would have helped you trade better into the Azir. I think one of the advantages, though, is that Azir does outrange you a bit. But the thing is that, unlike the Lissandra matchup...
Rift just flashes, goes for the wallbang, flash away, and Kerberos able to make his way out.
So much aggression coming out from Rift. Tank versus tank matchup, he doesn't care. And he's managed to get a 20 CS lead in a matchup that you really wouldn't expect that from. And this is really Rift showing he is the dominant top laner, regardless of who wins the series. He's out to prove who's the best.
I mean, Poppy's been a staple in the UK scene for a little while. We've been one of the regions that have really high prioritized this pick. It's had a couple of buffs as well recently.
Yep.
So Poppy's in a very good state at the moment. And I think Kerberos picking the Malphite into it. I'm curious to see what he's going to do. I think he's just recognizing the fact that he will be a level 6 bot.
I know, but yeah, I think the difference is that the reason Poppy's strong is because she actually trades pretty well, even into fighters and bruisers in the early levels. And so she can hold her own against things like Camille, even things that have a bit more early power.
Ooh.
So Haddo's fine. But the thing is, when you're playing against a tank like Malphite, you can actually punish them quite heavily if they don't respect you. And that's what we're seeing here. Again, although Kerberos is still going to be useful when he's behind, you definitely don't want him to be in a situation like this early on.
Well, you don't want him to instantly die after his ult's finished. After they've come back down from the knock-up, you don't want them to just turn around and two-shot him. So he does still want to have some tank stats under his belt.
Looks like he's not going the full AP build, unfortunately.
What, on the Malphite?
Yeah, not yet.
I say you say unfortunately, but I think
love
for the
to see
side of
that.
Wind and Rain, you're probably going to think pretty fortunately there. Unless he's just one-shotting, obviously, a very immobile Bendy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, the only problem is if he flashes, then you're pretty doomed. But you just got to hope. We'll see blue buff actually getting passed off over to Eren. Again, this is something we see is that the Azir does struggle with mana issues a bit in the early game. Now, as that blue buff able to continue to provide pressure, and the big thing that's going to come out is if you can get lane priority in the mid lane, you can transfer that pressure elsewhere. Something to note, first dragon is an ocean. We've seen much higher priority dragons in the early game. Enclave have stayed away from them. Wind and Rain have really focused on them, but for now, I'm not sure if either will put too much priority on an ocean in this.
Well, I think this is actually a really nice Drake for Wind and Rain, as they are having some problems in lane. Gives them that extra bit of sustain. You know, Crossman at the moment, you can see, pretty low on mana, starting to get poked out by Eren. Kerberos also continuously getting poked. And you just, with the Ocean Drake, you also get that continuous spam as Rift once again goes underneath the turret.
Ooh,
He's going to take a tower shot. Trades fairly equally, but Kerberos...
No, I don't think that was equal at all.
It wasn't equal after the buckle.
I think the big thing with there was that whenever Kerberos tries to walk up to hit the minion, Rift just slams him into the tower, and you get so much more damage of that charge. And it means that both setups from the Poppy's, I'm not sure the name, but the Q ability, are able to... There we go, are able to land onto the Malphite, and it means you get your full combo off. And again, when you have barely any stats on this Malphite, you're really struggling.
Kerberos very scared to stand too close towards the turret, recognizing that...
Oh, you got a cannon, he got a cannon, he did it!
Rift could probably all in him at most points, and this might be just the point. The hammer shot goes down, Kerberos lands himself an ultimate, and he's looking to turn it onto Rift. Rift's actually low, pops him up, the hammer shot comes down, Kerberos makes his way out, and Rift gets stuck on the minions!
That was dangerously close for both sides. 6 life on the Malphite.
Oh.
That. The Corrupting Potion just not enough to take him down. And we will see it come in.
Fax actually does dodge out from the seismic shove. The headbutt pulverizes there. Instant cleanse down, but it's not enough. Lifeform disintegration ray is melting too. Bendy is shut down by Nolty.
Yeah, and it's a good turnaround play from Wind and Rain. Fax has his flash available only now. Didn't have it there. Got caught up. Tried to cleanse, but it wasn't enough. But great moves from Nolty to turn around and punish. And that's the thing. If you kill one of the carries bot, the Vel'Koz is still there and able to put in the damage on the backside.
2 members as well, just in a straight line, just completely melted through.
Yeah, don't stack up against that.
Now, I do want to talk a little bit about this mid lane here. Obviously, Eren is building the Lost Chapter, so looking to work towards the Luden's Echo once again, as Crossman will be building that Triforce, but typically you kind of go, Triforce is the major spike for Corki. Nowadays, he actually has a bit of a slower spike, wants that Storm Razor, also wants that Rapid Fire Cannon. Once those 3 items are picked up, it is horrible playing into a Corki.
Yeah.
It is just disgusting.
I mean, that's the thing is you have so much burst on that first auto attack. It's so difficult to deal with, especially since it's magic damage crits.
And it's empowered by a Sheen.
Yeah, it's not a fun time. Especially, like, I mean, yes, Rift is going to stand up against it okay, but anyone else really, apart from an ulted Haddo, is going to struggle, and Rift might find something here.
Kerberos does have that flash, doesn't have his ultimate, is able just to walk it off, build himself up his Ninja Tabby to start this game out. But
yeah, but he now has a Ruby Crystal up against a Sheen and a...
Burmese.
Yeah, not...
Yeah.
No wonder he's losing these trades.
Well, Fax actually is going to get a nice auto attack. That's going to be a knock-up. Nolty is forced to flash away. In comes Haddo. He has got the backup of Eren, though. Corki not really got the damage at the moment with a Cull and a Phage.
Yeah, not the HP either. If you look, he's already very low from this poke from the Azir. This is when Corki really struggles.
But he might just go in. Oh, great flash by Nolty. That's going to be a seismic shove. Crossman's putting the damage out. Kerberos does have ultimate. It connects. Lifeform disintegration ray. And Kerberos is able to find himself a kill.
And that's why you pick the Malphite to come in and punish those squishies. It does look like Rift is going to push in top lane, but they're not able to find too much. And I think they're just going to take the dragon off the back end. Good moves from Nolty to survive that. Flashes out of the Emperor's Divide. And all in all, although still a 1,000 gold lead for the side of Enclave,
I very much
managed to equalize in terms of kills. Oh,
actually, they might just turn it. That's the seismic shove dodged out. Nolty's able to dodge back, but Rift looks for the wall bang. Hammer shock, 2-man knock-up, is able to get himself a kill onto Akasune. And now maybe Enclave turn towards getting this Ocean Drake.
Looks like they're not even going to bother. Rift wanting to head top and reapply that pressure.
Now, I don't want to say that it might be AP Malphite, but he has got a catalyst, so there is a very slight chance we see a rower. I doubt it.
So we see Nolty flashes the Emperor Divide, then just misses the body slam. You can argue it's a good dodge from Eren, but both flashes have to be used here, and then the ult from Kerberos just catches in his ear. No mobility left. Easy pickup for the rest of Wind and Rain. It's then that they move over towards the Ocean Dragon, which did result in the death of Nolty. do the CP coming out from Rift.
Aaron just poking away on Crossman for the moment. Crossman still pretty far of any major power spike, as he is doing a decent job to stay equal in CS.
I think that's the key thing, is Corki scales so well in the later stages of the game. Once you get 3-4 items, that's really where you start pumping out a ton of damage. It's okay if you're struggling in the early laning phase. The problem is if Enclave get too far ahead off the back end of that.
Well, now the Catalyst, Kerberos actually is taking significantly less damage from Rift, but still not a non-meaningful amount.
Yeah, I think it gets to this sort of point where Rift has maxed out his Q. He's putting points into his heroic charge. I think it's what it's called. And then it means that the damage, yeah, I'm getting better with these names. The damage is only really there if you manage to smash him into the wall.
Oh, denies him a cannon.
Does manage to find it there.
He doesn't.
See, bigger trade when he manages to smash him into the wall, land both aspects of his Q. Not doing too bad in these trades still, but again, this matchup isn't going to be as hard to punish later on. But right now, this is a good time to look for it.
He can't base. Great seismic shove dodge. That's going to be the unstoppable onslaught, knocking him up. Rift actually trying to find the hammer shock, but in comes Nolty. They may be turning it onto Monkeys now. A body slam goes a little bit wide, and Kerberos is able to find his second kill. The buckler, the explosive cast. In comes the Corki, and Wind and Rain find two topside.
And what a play coming out from the side of Wind and Rain. They are there to collapse in return. It manages to not only save their top laner, but the ease of turning things around with the Malphite means they're able to pick up 2 kills. Yes, they lose that tower in the mid lane.
And that's first turret as well.
But I think it's okay to take that trade.
Watch the roaming, though. Maybe we see him make his way down. For the moment, Aaron, I think just trying to take away this blue buff.
So, big thing here is watch Kerb.
Yeah, I'd about to have some action, actually.
Going back to some action.
That's going to be a knock-up.
Taken out by Akasune. Bendy is looking to go aggressive.
Ooh, Akasune running very low, but in comes Crossman. The barrier's there. Fax finds himself a kill. And they do get themselves 2 for 0 at the blue buff.
Can't complain too much about that. It was a good pick from Akasune, managing just to solo out the Azir, essentially, as a support. Sure, we'll get to see that in a replay soon, so you can see exactly how that went down. But for now, Wind and Rain putting a lot more fight into this game, despite losing that first tower, ahead by 700 gold.
Okay, Kerberos makes the smart decision. Decides to build the Abyssal Mask.
Yeah.
Boring.
Oh, well. I think it makes sense. He has a lot of damage on his team already.
Definitely the smart decision. We are going to see the Ocean Drake get picked up in favor of Wind and Rain, as we can now see this fight over the blue buff.
Greeding for the blue. Aaron just oversteps, takes so much burst, and he just didn't have the mobility to get out. Didn't have the soldiers in position to dash them. Bendy overstepping here. Good stopwatch coming out from Akasune. And the barrier at the back end is just enough to keep him alive.
That barrier was gorgeous.
That's why you take it.
That is definitely why you take it.
As you need to be. And although we didn't get to see the replay in the top, the great thing that Kerberos did in that play is when Poppy went for the charge to smash him into the wall, he used Unstoppable Force and interrupted it. That was the turning point in that play.
He also gave Rift tower aggro because he stood on top of him with the Burmese Cinder, which then procced a bit of damage. And now Kerberos 2-0 on this Malphite, sorry.
You don't think...
Still having a pretty hard time versus Rift.
I don't think you can trade into that Iceborne Gauntlet. But, you know, you think tanks, you don't think many outplay potential, but Kerberos really did outplay Rift in that tower dive.
I mean, he has an Ocean Drake to heal himself up
He just
slowly
slammed
over
the
time.
floor. He just slammed the floor. But
I'm angry.
I would do that too if I was struggling this much in this matchup.
Does have ulti. There actually might be a dive coming through topside, so we might have to hold trigger here.
Oh, so this is a replay. So you can see Kerberos is ready with the ult, and it's the key timing. Rift goes in for the dash, and then just as it started, it's interrupted by the Malphite ult. And that is, it stops Kerberos from getting stunned, and it really manages to turn this entire play around. Nolty isn't able to land the body slam, but the damage is there. Once you get into Leah's face, she's very vulnerable. Great cast back, and then the package is there to clean up the pop.
I mean, the cask just saved Kerberos' life.
Yeah, absolutely. Just great play all around.
Well, Kerberos' turret went down in the replay there, so we do look at the gold. It's still fairly equal between both of these teams. Not even 1,000 gold separates them.
And that's where things look a bit shaky for Enclave, is yes, you've managed to get these 2 turrets. But the thing is, the outer turrets tend to be easier to take. Wind and Rain are still close in gold despite that. If they turn it around and end up picking some turrets up in return or win a team fight, they could really start to take over this game. So you have to keep up this tempo as Enclave. You now want to go towards that Rift Herald, potentially use that to take that bot tower. You don't want to let the game slow down. But it looks like they're going to go for Kerberos here.
Kerberos does have ulti if he wants to escape, does have flash. That's going to be the charge back, but Rift is hot on the heels. Seismic shove flashed away, and Kerberos forced out, but Crossman looking for the burst onto Monkeys. Monkeys is almost deleted, but now it's getting turned around. Crossman flashes over the wall with the rocket. Triumph isn't going to be able to heal him up, but Rift will be able to get that headbutt up fairly soon, but in comes Nolty to interrupt. The hammer shock shuts him down, and now Nolty forced to run away.
Yeah, and just great play from Rift to punish Crossman there. That very easily could have been a free kill over to him, but in the end, it's a 1-for-1. This Poppy, she's a little yordle, but she's got some fight in her.
That's a dirty amount of damage.
Absolutely, yeah. The second hammer shock explosion does a ton.
Now, one of the key things as well is actually Kerberos was forced to flash and ultimate, which are going to be major engage tools for his team.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing, is that you really don't want to fight without Kerberos having those available. Yes, they function as escape, so you can use them. But it's one of those situations where you want to try and use them aggressively to provide for your team.
Yeah, Fax now in this mid lane looking to shove in, looking to try and take some turrets down. Wind and Rain still not being able to pick up a single turret either, which is going to be one of the major things for them. Obviously this locked gold, this gold that they can potentially be able to get themselves. Bot lane turret still pretty healthy, top lane turret still pretty healthy, mid lane turret still pretty healthy. So for now, Enclave can be pretty comfortable with the fact that
coming in from Rift.
They're not going in, but this is actually a TP.
This.
Kerberos doesn't have his as well. Hado actually does get locked up. That's going to be a knock-up. Headbutt pulverize only lands onto one, but Rift turns it straight onto Fax on the back end. Now Crossman tries to pump the damage out on the flank. It looks like all of Wind and Rain are separated,
Kerberos
but the curtain has been called. In comes Kerberos. Remember, no flash available. Rift Herald is taken down. I didn't see who got it. I think it was... No, it was
Wind and Rain because they're trying to block for
Okay, they're able to get it.
Kerberos has ult. They can still go for this.
Remember, Fax is extremely low. Obviously can heal up a little bit, but it looks like the timer is starting to run out on this Rift Herald. Oh, Monkeys!
Akazuni just caught on the edge of that. Completely unexpected. Great play. And we said Wind and Rain wanted to back off. They lost no members. They decided, whatever. We didn't get the Rift Herald.
I'm not going to lie. If I was Kerberos, I'd just ult onto that. I'd just go for that Rift Herald.
Hell yeah.
Get that unlocked gold.
Nolty can body slam over, then flashback. I mean, I asked lots of questions.
Well, at least that slows down Enclave shove as they have to kind of wait for the eye to time out before they actually go for Herald. Crossman now has himself a Zeal, so actually building towards that rapid fire cannon second, and then it will be the Storm Razor third. Pretty standard build here for the Corki. And 3 items. That's what I'm going to say. It gets quite grim for the side of Enclave when you've got to deal with a 3-item Jhin, a 3-item Corki, who both will have rapid fire cannons and a massive amount of range.
Yeah, the question is, what build is Corki going to go? Because although you think the Storm Razors are going to pick up, if he's going the rapid fire second, I have seen people go an Infinity Edge after this. Does mean that you scale a bit better, because obviously Storm Razor is not that good as a late game item. And you can see the control comes out here. Akatsuni thinks he's safe. He's on a pink ward. That is the key thing. But then Monkeys, he expects him to be hiding in this brush. He sees the pink ward on the other side next to Crossman. He knows he hasn't moved. He goes fishing, and he finds a tentacle monster.
I mean, Crossman had package at the beginning of that, so he could have packaged in and then packaged out with the Valkyrie twice.
Risky against...
Very, very risky. Don't get me wrong. But do it. Just go.
Yeah,
you know, make the plays. Unlock that goal.
I understand the decision from Wind and Rain. You've essentially neutralized the Rift Herald. You took it, but you didn't get to secure it. So neither team essentially gets it. They just wanted to get out with any kills. But Akazuni just overstepping a bit. And good pickup from Monkeys, who... I mean, before that, he was 0-2-2. Not looking great on this Talia, but has managed to get a bit of gold back from that kill.
Remember, the next Drake spawning up is going to be that Ocean Drake again. So 2 Ocean Drakes. If Wind and Rain can get their hands on that, they'll be pretty comfortable knowing that they can go for heavy engages and just peel back and then heal up if it goes wrong.
Absolutely, and it does sort of help with that when you're going for poke, when you have something like a Vel'Koz, when you're going for sieges. Wow, this fight has gotten a lot less interesting between Kerberos and Rift.
Yeah, Rift damage is
a lot less
starting to fall off versus the Malphite, but you know, expected stuff really there.
Yep, I mean, that begs the question, maybe you should have gone Blade of the Ruined King Poppy. Could have provided a lot more split push pressure.
Duskblade Poppy, this full damage Poppy. Enclave are going to be able to get themselves another Drake. It will be an Ocean Drake, so 1 apiece. Both of these teams have a little bit extra sustain built in now. Yeah,
and the next dragon going to be another Ocean again. These dragons are useful in the early laning phase, not too great later on unless you manage to stack a few up. Again, they're always going to be taken when they're free because you can turn them into Elder Dragon stacks. But the thing is, they're not the sort of dragons you want to play your entire game around. They're not Infernals, they're not Mountains, they're not even Cloud Drakes, which are arguably better at late game.
Well, Crossman was able to get a little bit of turret damage down on that top lane turret, but with the fact that Aaron was making his way up, knew that it was time to fall back and peel back, so still 0 turrets have fallen for the side of Wind and Rain, and this gold lead is now starting to slip away from them as Enclave pull themselves a 2k gold lead up. And we need to see Kerberos make that engage, make that play for his team, but with Rift shoving him, it's just hard for him to respond.
Ooh, good body slam away. Enclave are trying to get pressure on this dragon, and to be honest, I feel like Enclave might struggle if this gets a bit later on. Once that Corki gets to 4 items, could be quite difficult. They are now sitting on that 2-item spike with the Varus. This is when he's very strong. He puts out a ton of damage in the team fights. They really need to force Wind and Rain into an unfavorable position. If Akasune has to walk up to find wards onto the Baron, that's when you find a good team fight. That's when you can punish. Rift's TP, still a bit to go, but if you can get a flank like he has many times this game, that's where you can secure a game-winning team fight by getting the Baron off the back of it.
It's hard to fight a Baron into the Wind and Rain lineup, though. They're very good in a chokehold once again. This is pretty much their entire playstyle. Kerberos building towards that Frozen Heart, so we'll be able to at least slow Bendy's auto attacks down.
Yeah. I mean, this is a favorable thing for Enclave, though, because they're on blue side. It means they are not trapped in the Baron pit. Because the key thing is that if Wind and Rain were to go for a Baron, their Corki and their Jhin would be trapped in the pit. Yes, Corki can get out with his Valkyrie, but Jin's stuck. Akasune on this Vel'Koz is stuck. So Enclave in a much safer position if they want to start up these Barons, just to try and find some pressure. But for now, they're just going to play this push and pull game. You can see Bendy and Hado in the mid lane on the mini-map. They push mid in, they walk over to clear vision. On the other side, Wind and Rain are trying to contest. I mean, on the center screen, you can see 2 tanks fighting, but let's look a bit more at the map.
Yeah, well, Nolty actually gets caught out by the seismic shove. Hado almost goes for the play. That actually is Crossman looking for Aaron, and Emperor's Divide forces him back. They're just dueling it out, and Aaron trades 1 for 1.
And it's a cowboy duel. They both fire, and they both
just
end up
stand
falling.
still, like,
I'm killing you. And it does end up being a trade. I think you slightly come out ahead of that in terms of Crossman, because you did get the Azir's flash. But either way, both.
Yeah, but you got Crossman's heal as well.
Actually, yeah, and I think I mean, the Azir was 0 and 2, so...
The later this moves, though, the more this starts to favor Crossman. You know, he's actually building towards that Infinity Edge now.
I don't think he is.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, sorry. Stormrazor builds from BF, and he's got a longsword. Yeah, Stormrazor. So once he gets that Stormrazor, that burst, that initial burst is a lot more. And then it's kind of a matter of playing chicken, really. Because if he bursts Aaron, Aaron goes, do I stay or do I go?
It shows he wants to play more to that 3-item spike. I would argue if you went Infinity Edge Zeal, that would be a much stronger late game. The thing with the Stormrazor is, yes, it's a great item when you pick it up, but as you get more critical chance, it becomes a bit more redundant. Especially if he ends up going an Infinity Edge later, he will be over that sort of massive amount. So I guess he wants to play for this mid game, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if he gets Infinity Edge 4th, it means he has 60% crit, so he has more consistent damage outside of the burst as well. But he has a burst to add to it as well.
The alternative would be getting Infinity Edge now, then a Zeal, puts him at 90% crit.
Yeah.
Then you can pick up, say, a BF sword into a Bloodthirster. I think that gives you a lot more sustained damage. But again,
I mean, even a Blade of the Ruined King wouldn't be bad, because he's got to cut through tanks.
I don't think it's that great on Corki. And again, the only tank you're really cutting through is Rift. Again, Hado is tanky, but not because he has a ton of HP stacked.
This is why they pay you to be the smart man and me just the Fury Craft,
that
and then
is
you
why.
shoot me down.
Yep, that is my job. That is my role. In terms of cutting down tank, you do see Aaron building towards what I will undoubtedly think is that Void Staff, and you can understand why. Lots of MR coming out from these tanks on the side of Wind and Rain. They know what's going to put out a ton of damage. Yes, the Varus is capable of putting out a lot if he's just sat there shooting away.
Oh, Kerberos actually gets caught by the Chains of Corruption. They're looking to go in, and the Emperor's Divide just shuts him down. Kerberos.
What was he doing?
This is Wind and Rain standing on top of Pink Wards, thinking they're safe constantly.
That was Enclave's Pink Ward, wasn't it?
No, that was his Pink Ward.
Oh, okay.
They cleared it out.
Oh.
Imagine basing on someone else's Pink Ward. That is disrespect, but that's going to be the Headbutt Pulverized. Seismic Shove's gone cancelled out as Akasune's gone golden. Nolty needs to find the hero play. He's flashed out. Members are falling down left, right, and center. The curtain has been called, and Hado is going to tank it up for his team. Turret will fall down, and 2 members for Wind and Rain fall.
Yeah, I think I was wrong there. But you just see the power coming out from the Enclave side when they manage to find backline access. They get rid of Kerberos. That is the main engaged threat on the side of Wind and Rain. And then they manage to get on top of this squishy Vel'Koz. And it works a treat. They're able to get a fair amount of gold through that push. and they now put themselves in a situation with a 3.7k gold ahead. And yeah, Corky's picked up the Storm Razor. But this is a big spike now, and the thing is he's been matched up pretty heavily by this Azir, who's now got the Ludens, the Void Staff, and the Banshee's Veil. And you saw, although Malphite is the tankiest member on Wind and Rain's side, didn't look very tanky there.
3 items now picked up on Crossman. Even got those magic pen boots to boot, so it's going to be that scary point now where Kerberos still has teleport, still has flash, still has the ulti, held onto those, even though he was picked off in an earlier engage. So if you're Wind and Rain, now's the time to fight. You've got a QSS finished up on Fax, whose cleanse is on cooldown, and it looks like that would just be getting started up. Is going to get spotted out by the Scryers. Kerberos actually makes his way up just by walking, and Haddo taking a fair amount of damage. They're sticking onto this. That's going to be Haddo going back. Life on Disintegration Ray is going to force him to go golden. Baron Nashor has been picked up. It's going to be answered out by a kill, though, as they shuffle back. Kerberos hot on the chase. Let's see if we're going to see any more come out, as that's actually going to blast cone. Wind and Rain fishing for an opening. Kerberos spotted out one. Fax goes down. Monkeys able to find yet another seismic shove. Emperor's Divide, as Kerberos is on the run, is forced to ult out defensively. Wind and Rain just with no respect for their opponents.
Yeah, it felt like Kerberos was waltzing up the river.
Why didn't he TP?
Why didn't he TP? I think he was like, oh, it's fine, I can walk up there. No, you're against a Varus, Atelier, and an Azir. This is a very fast Baron. They didn't respect it. Not only did they lose that, but they end up losing Fax off the back end because, again, Monkeys, he's someone who we traditionally have seen play a lot of tanks, but he's been great so far in this sphere. Bit of difficulties in the early game, but able to find these great picks on the squishier targets who, honestly, he shouldn't be able to get in range of.
That was just frustrating to watch because we see the perfect scenario for Wind and Rain to find themselves a bit of an answer, and they just, Kerberos doesn't teleport. This is one of the things that was raised at Scouting Grounds in December. I remember we were all talking about how one of the Kerberos' major weaknesses is actually his ability not just to teleport into anything. He never uses it aggressively, and we're seeing it cost Wind and Rain heavily here.
And that's why he functions well as a split pusher, because he just stays in that side lane and pressures and pressures and pressures. But you see Rift consistently using his TPs to find advantages for his team on the map. And Kerberos, in that situation where everything is screaming, TP, 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 he should have just gone for it. That is the exact situation you want to make use of it. That is the exact situation where you could have found a great team fight. Instead, they're now down a Baron and 5k gold.
And Haddo,
tricky situation.
And Haddo had no seismic shove. This actually might be Crossman getting blast cone back, but he's looking for Bendy. The damage is down. He has so much. Once again, it's a 1-for-1 though. Curtain Call has already been used, and without a hyper carry, this could be a dangerous position. Eren has found out Kerberos, who does not have his ultimate available. Rift, headbutt, ult in one. That's going to be Fax trying to pump the damage down as Wind and Rain have found themselves yet another kill. Rift with a headbutt into Kerberos. He is on the run and making his way out. It's all falling apart. Eren misses the shuffle. He's going golden. He does have a flash, and he's going to have to use it. A headbutt back, and now we're seeing everyone still keep this chase up. Enclave maybe overcommitting, but are still able to keep themselves, their midliner, alive, and this will be the base getting cracked.
I think they're good. There's no engaged threat from the side of Wind and Rain. No ult on the Malphite or the Gragas. Fax will try to do what he can, but this inhibitor is definitely going down.
Crossman's up in 9 seconds, so it's not going to be the end of the game.
The bleeding Wind and Rain, losing a big chunk of their base, and there's still a little bit of time left in this Baron. Enclave will be able to recall and head to that bot side.
Well, Bendy with the Infinity Edge was just able to match Crossman blow for blow. Crossman's still not got his Infinity Edge yet. Nakasune, Rift was just like glue to him. He's stuck on.
And this is the problem, is that yes, Vel'Koz can put out a lot of damage if he's able to channel his ult, but rarely is he given the opportunity. Rift constantly finding flanks, and this is what we talked about in this game, is backline access is so key. Yes, Vel'Koz can do a ton of damage. Yes, Fax can do a ton of damage on this Jhin, but not if they get threatened by aggressive champions like the Alistar, like the Poppy. And the thing is, we didn't see Kerberos ult aggressively on this Malphite. He ulted the Poppy, one man, and when you pick a Malphite and do that, it just becomes redundant.
Now, Fax does have his cleanse, his flash, and his QSS up, so it's going to be very hard to pick him off. And if he can play these next stages, these next few fights, just as safe as possible, but able to, you know, play with a little bit of aggression, knowing how much he's got to keep him safe, that's going to be one of the openings for Wind and Rain. But we need to see Kerberos actually land an ult on a decent target.
I mean, it's getting hard now, because Bendy has his flash, Eren has the Banshees, has just been popped, so thanks for that, Fax. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult situation. Kerberos also without his flash, so not going to have that ease of landing an ult. And you've seen he's unwilling to use the TP. TP flanks on Malphite can be devastating because you just really have nowhere to go. But he hasn't really used it for the past... it's been like at least 20 minutes since Kerberos has TP'd.
I think the last time we TP'd it was into lane.
Yeah.
Like, you're at that point.
You might as well take an Ignite.
This was this conversation we had the other day in solo queues. Why do people take TP? Because no one ever TPs to anywhere but lane. So you might as well just play top with a combat summoner. But let's focus more on this current game.
Not your solo queue adventures.
Not my solo queue adventures. As Enclave are looking to push in this mid lane. There's a bit of a shove going in bot side as Crossman was the one holding him off, but had to send himself up to top side to try and catch these super minions cashing in. And this does mean that we'll probably see the last turret outside of the base for Wind and Rain fall down. You
have to give it up in this situation. There's no way you defend it without top inhibitor exposed. Thing is, can you defend these inhibitor turrets? Big auto comes out from Crossman. See that guaranteed crit from the Storm Razors.
Yeah, didn't pop the Banshees though. I think Kerberos maybe would have pulled the trigger if the Banshees was down. It not being down does obviously mean that they're not going to be able to do so. And it's just a defense game from Wind and Rain. They've only lost one inhibitor, so it's not the end of the world for them.
Yep, key thing is it's a top lane inhibitor as well. Arguably one of the best if you are trying to contest a Baron, which is coming up in a minute 30. The thing is there's no big split push threat on the side of Enclave. Poppy did well in the early levels, but really can't challenge this Malphite with her damage at this point.
Infinity Edge has been finished up on Crossman. Fax is sitting on his Infinity Edge. Still only 3 items on Bendy, but
we'll get the back
look at the base now. Probably going to pick up a QSS if he wants to stay safe, or he's just going full crit.
Damage. I mean,
yeah, he's going full crit.
You haven't felt threatened so far by the Malphite. Yes, Corki has been in your face a bit, but you're just going to pick up some more damage and try and deal with him. The sustained damage coming out from this Varus is massive at this point. 90% crit. Obviously has a ton of attack speed between the Blade of Doom King, the Runans, and the Zeal. He will melt anyone who gets up close. And that's the thing, is that yes, Crossman has a ton of burst with this build, but his sustain is not going to compete with this Varus. So if you can't take out Bendy quickly, he will turn it around.
Now, I do want to turn your attention towards the map and the current warding going down, as Enclave have one control ward, but got to keep in mind they've got control of the entire map, so they can go and ward this up very soon, where Wind and Rain, if a Baron Nashor gets started up soon, they will not have a way to answer out. So as you can see, sending multiple members scouting every bush before walking into it and getting as much vision control down as possible, even popping the sweeper to make sure. But first of all, they can clear out some wards, and secondly, so they can deny that from the enemy team.
Yeah, but you can see what Enclave are going to do. Smart decision. They shove in the mid lane. Fax has to move to collect it, and then in return, the whole of Enclave's squad will move over to contest his vision in the Baron area. Just very safe way of doing it.
Has to TP.
Yeah,
this has to be the time now.
He can do it.
Where he makes the play for his team. As Rift, you know, it's
okay. That doesn't do nearly as much damage now. You're safe now, Kerberos.
Yeah, Kerb's pretty safe in this lane. Does have to be careful as far as TPs are concerned, because if Rift headbutts him back, it will cancel it out. So
yeah, the thing is as well is that Rift can ult him away and then channel his TP, and it will get him to the fight a little bit quicker. The problem is as well is that Rift can cancel Kerberos' TP without using an ultimate ability. If Kerberos wants to cancel his, he has to burn his ult, which completely negates the usefulness of a Malphite. And it's surprising, again, we've seen a massive CS lead come out between these two, nearly 100. Top lane inhibitor is going to be up. See Rift moving over, knows he has pressure bot. Gonna try to get some pressure here. Oh, Akatsuki walking up.
Oh, forces the flash from Fax. Deadly Flourish does connect, but it's only onto Hados and not going to actually connect or chase for a kill for the moment, as Kerberos is joining up with the rest of the team.
This is great vision control coming out from Enclave. They're just looking for the picks here. Malphite's now turned up to help provide pressure, but Poppy's going to shove in that bot lane. Can't stay here for too long.
So many wards down. Yeah, Poppy is obviously shoving that wave.
It's just a waiting game for Enclave. They just have to let Poppy shove in. Someone has to answer, and then they clear out these wards.
It is the threat, though, that they just find the engage and the instant burst out from the fact that they've got a Corki Jhin. Like, the initial burst of these Storm Razors, both backed up by Infinity Edges, is pretty scary. That's like a 200% crit.
Yeah.
From 2 champions.
I think it's 200% crits. I don't think you can get a 200% crit.
Oh, Bendy! Yeah? Almost gets soloed out. That's going to be...
TP!
Started up. That's the Malphite TP. All right.
Maybe you could have TP'd.
You got me a lot more hyped than what was actually going on.
But he finally used it.
But they actually might just have the damage to start this up. You know, Bendy's already been forced back. He's trying to heal up with that double Ocean Drake. And it looks like this is now the time for the fight. Remember, Akasuni doesn't have ultimate. There's a teleport coming out as well. Here comes the collapse. Kerberos is still inside the base. He ults one, but there's no damage to help him out. He even pops the Gargoyle's Stoneblade. He is being liquefied by Enclave, and Bendy is able to get in one. Hado with a 2-man knock-up is not doing enough as Crossman pumping that damage out, pops him into the wall. It's a double kill onto Bendy. It's a shove back, and Enclave have found themselves their fight, have found themselves their win, and they will turn to Baron Nashor.
Yeah, they have 4 members alive.
Monkey! Threaded volley, that will be the full ace coming out from Enclave, and this is Wind and Rain's hopes shattered as they fall down, and Enclave will be taking the series.
And what a performance, particularly from Rift throughout this, despite being in a tank vs tank matchup, so much more prevalent than Kerberos. He was such a presence in that backline and didn't even die despite 3 members hitting him. He's able to tank them up, he's able to provide CC, and does so much for his team, and the DPS from the Varus, Azir is able to carry them through.
Kerberos ults the squishies when no one is nearby, and that mistake cost Wind and Rain heavily as they will be knocked out, and Enclave are the first team to make it to the 4th qualifying tournament finals.
Yeah, and it is what we expected for Enclave to be able to get through the finals. They are a #1 seeded team. Yes, Wind and Rain showed they had a bit of fight in that game 1, but Enclave realized they needed to take this serious, and they very much did.
I will actually bring it back as well. Now, looking forward for Enclave, there were a lot of weaknesses shown there. Those were not clean games. This is a 2-1 series. It was brought very close even towards the end there. Wind and Rain, if they'd played it right, maybe could have gotten a better engaged, cleaner engaged. Realistically, if they hadn't lost top lane so hard, it would have been a much more even game.
Yeah.
I don't think the losing of top lane was the problem. It was more the decision making and just the like the ultimates. I think Kerberos landed one impactful ultimate, and that was onto Crossman. No, sorry, Aaron. Sorry, onto Aaron. And that resulted in them in the kill. That was in mid-game. After that, Kerberos didn't ult anyone. He only ulted defensively, and the one time after that he ulted someone was at that Baron fight just before the game ended. 3 very good members to get ulted, but when you don't have a Corki, you don't have a Jhin, you have no backup because they're getting zoned by Poppy. You've got Rift literally 1v4ing on the other side of the map, and he just did it slightly better than Kerberos could.
Yeah, absolutely. And
well, we have the damage,
yeah,
actually.
we have the damage.
Let's bring the damage up so you can see.
Yeah.
That's a 1v9 performance.
Rift.
That is actually Rift with the most damage as a full tank Poppy.
I mean, you have to, yeah, like, there was a lot of just queuing Malphite in lane. Like, that is slightly skewed. So let's say Azir probably did a lot more
AoE fights with a Varus and an Azir. Like,
what I would like to note is that Azir was pumping out so much damage because as soon as he saw those team fights kicked off, we talked about lethal tempo in the last game, and I said it's very unusual, but in a game like this, where you could see most of his damage, this is something we talked about even pre-game, is going to have to be on front line because you don't have easy backline access. You saw that even when the stone plate was popped on Malphite, just shredded through him.
And it sort of begs the question, because you have this Corki and this Jhin, they just don't have the damage to cut through this tanks, especially when you go the Storm Razors building the Corki. It's like, we need to get backline access for that to be weird. We want the guaranteed crit on the squishy targets. They just didn't find it often enough, and I think a big part was just the Malphite wasn't as useful.
Yeah, but a lot of that comes down to, this Poppy was already massively far ahead.
Yeah.
So if Poppy's just in your face and you can't get around her because she could kill you, you suddenly run into massive issues this
And
month.
the question I ask is, could you not have, in draft, moved the Gragas into the top lane, safer matchup, and then you potentially could have picked something that really countered Talia. We saw Olaf played earlier in this LCK, really great into Talia. You could pick something like potentially like a Nocturne if you wanted to specifically punish that squishy target. Would have provided a lot better backline access.
I was actually considering when they locked the Poppy, you could have even gone for a Mundo, just try to be a big disruptor.
Yeah, I think that works as well. I think maybe just the Malphite, because to me the draft seemed okay until that last Malphite pick.
I know, yeah, you know, I'm fully on board there. I think like Monk is really, it felt like he didn't do much until like he just found some really good seismic shots. Like there were a couple of picks which just completely justified why they got that Talia. You know, the first one when he one-shots Akasune in a bush, in a pink-warded bush, that was just a really good guess. And then later, the same thing happens to Kerberos twice.
I'd actually like to point out, neither of these were actually guesses. What happened was he saw skill shots originating from the brush,
I think they
waited and tried to pinpoint where they'd come from, and then through the seismic shove comboed them.
It's guesswork, but it's very smart guesswork.
The key one with
Educated
Akasune is there was a pink ward behind him, so it's like, right, there's this little cloud where we don't have vision, but we have vision all around.
Coming out of this dark area.
You just see like a tentacle sticking out, like, I wonder where he is.
He could have been anywhere in that bush, mate.
It was still well played by Monkeys, and then he did the same thing to Gragas. He waited. The Gragas had cleared wards, and then stood there and got picked off because of it.
Yep.
look, this wasn't the cleanest series in the world. I think Enclave will have a lot to look at going forward here. And specifically the winner of XL Misfits will be looking to exploit some of that. I think especially looking towards that mid game, a lot of those team fights looked shaky, and some of the other two teams we're now looking at, you would hope, can shore up some of those weaknesses and maybe exploit them coming into the final.
And I think XL now, if they can take this win over Misfits, are going to be sitting with a lot of information. They got to see 3 games of Enclave play. There were lots of weaknesses shown in this, especially if we do look at the early game.